Our first story today is when a friendship starts to feel more like a burden than a joy? Well, that's where I'm at right now. Hi, Aunt Jay. I've been friends with Georgina for about 6 years now, and at first she was really good company. We'd have nights out, coffee catch ups, and laugh about life. But over time, things just shifted. Now, when my phone rings and it's her, I already know exactly what the conversation will be about. Her husband, every single time. According to her, he's had countless affairs. He's selfish and he never helps out around the house. And he treats her terribly. And I do believe her. He sounds awful. But the thing is, that's all she ever talks about. It doesn't matter if I'm going through something myself. She hardly ever asks about me or about my family. I could be telling her about my day or about one of my kids, and she'll cut me off to go back to her husband and his latest drama. And when we do actually meet up, it's even worse. We'll get dressed up for a good night out, sit down with our drinks, and before the ice has even melted, she's on the phone screaming at him, demanding to know where he is and who he's with and what he's doing. I'll just sit there sipping on my drink, pretending not to notice the people around us staring. The last time we went out, it got so bad we ended up driving around town. She had me pulling into car parks, past pubs, driving down back roads, all because she thought he might be there with someone else. I honestly felt like a private investigator's sidekick. And that's not what I signed up for when I said, yes, let's go out. I've tried gently steering the conversation elsewhere. I've asked her about work, her hobbies, her family. But she always circles back to him. It's as if her whole life revolves around this man, even though he clearly doesn't value her. Aunt Jay, I feel sorry for her, I really do. She doesn't have many friends, and I think that's why she clings on to me so much. But the truth of the matter is, I feel drained. I don't enjoy her company anymore, and I dread her calls. And when I do see her, I come home feeling worse than when I left. I thought about ending the friendship, but how do you even do that? Do I sit her down and tell her straight that I can't be her sounding board anymore? Or do I just back away quietly, stop answering her calls as often, and hope she gets the hint? I don't want to hurt her, I really don't, but at the same time, I can't keep sacrificing my own peace for a friendship that feels so one-sided. So that's where I'm stuck. Do I say something, or do I just walk away? You've been more patient than most people would have. 6 years of listening to the same story on repeat is exhausting. Here's the thing, Georgina doesn't want advice. She doesn't want change. She just wants an audience for the chaos she keeps choosing. And you've been the audience for far too long. And if you carry on like this, nothing's going to improve. She'll keep ringing you, you'll keep listening, and your resentment will grow. And that's not friendship, it's emotional labour, and it's draining you. You don't have to be cruel, but you do have to be clear. Next time she starts up, set a boundary. Say something like, I care about you, but I can't keep talking about this over and over. If you want to chat about something else, I'm here. If not, I need to step back for my own peace. It might sting her in that moment, but real friends will respect your boundaries. And if she doesn't, then you already have your answer about whether or not this friendship is worth hanging on to. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is to step back and let someone face their own choices. Because right now she's dragging you down with her, and you deserve more than that. What are your thoughts? Share them down below. Have you ever been in a situation like this? Let's move on to our second story today. So our second story today, imagine being at a family party surrounded by people you've known all your life and suddenly realising everyone there thinks you're a thief. Dear Aunt Jay, this was at my cousin's engagement party. The whole family had been planning it for weeks. A hired hall, decorations, buffet spread, and a DJ. Everyone was in their good clothes, smiling, laughing. You know, the kind of night where you think, yes, this is how family should feel. I got there early and even helped my aunt set the tables. We laid out the cake, set out the chairs, and put out the envelopes for the family gift collection. It felt so good to be included. And for the first hour, it was perfect. The bride-to-be was glowing, people were dancing and kids were running around. I was chatting with cousins and catching up. Nothing felt wrong. But then something shifted. I walked past a group of relatives and they went quiet. I brushed it off. Later, I caught two cousins whispering and looking straight at me. Then came the side glances, the kind of looks where you know people are talking about you, but no one will say it out loud. Finally, my aunt came over and said, "Can I have a word with you outside?" I followed her out, thinking she needed help with the food or drinks or something. Instead, she said, "The envelope's gone. The money we collected, and the necklace too. Do you know anything about it?" I laughed at first. Honestly, I thought she was winding me up. But her face stayed deadly serious. I said, "Of course I don't. Why would I?" And then she said the words that made my stomach drop. "Well, people saw you near the dressing room." From that moment on, I wasn't at a party. I was at a trial. Word had clearly spread because when I went back in, the atmosphere changed. My uncle came straight up to me and asked if I noticed anything suspicious. Two of my cousins just avoided me completely. They didn't even want to make eye contact. Even my sister kept her head down, which hurt more than anything. Not once did she say, no, she wouldn't do that. She just stayed quiet. And yes, I had been in the dressing room earlier. I'd gone in to fix my makeup, but there were people in and out the whole time. I wasn't alone. Still, that was enough for their suspicions to stick to me. As I tried to explain myself, I could feel the room watching. My aunt shook her head as she walked past, and someone muttered, "It's always the quiet ones." Meanwhile, my cousin, the bride-to-be, sat crying, clutching her fiancé's arm. And instead of comforting her, half the family were staring at me like I was the reason her night was ruined. By then, I didn't even want to defend myself anymore. What's the point? Nobody wanted to hear me. They'd already made up their minds. The worst part was no one actually said the word thief to my face. It was all implication. The silences, the whispers, the looks. But honestly, that's the worst because it left me standing there, humiliated, with no way to clear my name. By the end of the night, I just left quietly. I couldn't dance, I couldn't eat, I couldn't look anyone in the eye. And the kicker, the money, the necklace, never turned up. To this day, nobody knows who took them. The next time I saw them, they all acted like nothing had happened. But it had, and for me, everything changed. Now I just can't look at my family the same again. I'll tell you straight, this was never about missing money or necklace. This was about them picking on the easiest person to pin it on. And unfortunately, that was you. Families can be quick to turn when they need a scapegoat. They don't care about proof, they care about restoring order, finding someone to blame so the night doesn't look like a total disaster. And once your name was in the mix, nobody was brave enough to go against it. If nobody stood up for you that night, that says more about them than it does about you. Even your sister stayed quiet. That would cut deep, and you're allowed to feel hurt by it. You can't force people to apologise, but you can decide how much space to give them in your life. If every gathering is going to remind you of that night, maybe step back. Protect your peace first. And if you ever want to say something to them in the future, keep it simple. Something like, "I'll never forget how you treated me that night. You accused me with no proof, and it changed the way I see this family." You don't need to shout, you don't need to argue, just say your truth. Because at the end of the day, you know you didn't do it, and the people who really love you will believe you. And the ones that don't, let them carry the shame, not you. Well, those are my thoughts. Have you ever found yourselves in any of these situations? What advice do you have? And how would you deal with it? Let me know in the comments section below. Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more true stories like this. I post every single week. But until next time, guard your heart and protect your peace.